Coming up tonight, more sexual misconduct at NUS, Professor Ted Hopf, the latest academic to be fired.
The Islamic Religious Council of Singapore hits back at claims that it didn't take action against a man's deviant religious teachings.
And a motorcyclist who collided with a sambar deer is suing the LTA and NParks for negligence. This is the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Dylan Ang.
I'm Xiao Suen. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. The National University of Singapore has sacked yet another professor for sexual misconduct. NUS said today that political science professor Theodore G had sexually harassed a student in physical, verbal, and written forms. In August, he had allegedly offered and drank alcohol with the student and also made an offensive remark about certain parts of the student's anatomy. In October 2018, Professor Hopf had also sent a sex text message to the student. Investigations began after an anonymous complaint against the 61-year-old American was sent to the university.
NUS has come under fire for a series of sexual misconduct cases involving faculty in recent months. In October, the university sacked Tembusu College Don Dr. Jeremy Fernando after it received 2 complaints alleging he had behaved inappropriately as a teaching staff. Then last month, NUS revealed that a former director of its East Asian Institute, Professor Zheng Yongnian, had behaved inappropriately with a subordinate by hugging her without her consent during a work meeting.
For those who have been waiting to visit Hong Kong, you'd have to wait a bit longer. The much-anticipated leisure travel bubble between Singapore and Hong Kong has been further delayed amid a rising number of unlinked COVID-19 cases in Hong Kong. It was announced today that both cities have decided to defer the start of the air travel bubble to beyond this month. The exact start date will be reviewed again later this month, and under the arrangement, travellers will not have to quarantine or serve a stay-home notice if they test negative for the virus.
On to the COVID-19 situation here. 10 new cases were confirmed today. They included 1 in the community and another from workers' dormitories. The remaining 8 are imported and were placed on stay-home notice when they arrived here.
In other news tonight, if you have more than 1 local bank account, you'll soon be able to view them all in one place. The Straits Times understands that the Singapore Financial Data Exchange, an online platform, will be announced soon.
Users can consent to share their financial data across 7 banks and 3 government agencies, the CPF Board, Housing Board and IRIS. The single platform offers consumers a seamless view of their accounts to help them make informed decisions on financial and retirement planning.
Meanwhile, the Monetary Authority of Singapore warns that more families could face difficulties making their home loan payments in the coming months. According to MAS, the credit card charge-off rate, a key indicator, has been rising, which suggests that more homeowners could have problems paying off their debt. A bit of advice from MAS: given the uncertain economic outlook, households should remain prudent in taking up new debt and in committing to buying property.
The Islamic Religious Council of Singapore has rebutted allegations that it failed to take action for 4 years against a man's devious religious teachings that was brought to the public's attention last month. Calling the social media postings factually inaccurate, MUIS said that it had already investigated the matter in 2018 when it was first notified. It later decided to re-investigate the man in question, a former massage therapist in his 50s, after the Straits Times expose on the man and the group published earlier this month. MUIS went on to warn that it would not hesitate to take legal action against those who continue to spread falsehoods and unfounded allegations.
Today marks the first day of the Singapore Rediscovers vouchers kicking into effect. First in line to make a booking today was taxi driver Eng Beng Lam and his wife Ong Chun Hua, who arrived at the Tampines East Community Centre an hour before the counters operated by Klook and UOB travel planners opened at 10 a.m. The couple booked tickets for the Sands Sky Park and Observation Deck at Marina Bay Sands, as well as the Singapore Flyer, spending about half of their vouchers worth. Mr. Eng said, "This is a chance for my family and I to visit the Singapore attractions after this tough year."
And if you're looking for ways to spend your $100 without having to pay any extra, here are some attractions and activities that we're very excited about. From a glimpse into restricted areas of the former Supreme Court, usually out of bounds to the public, to a one-day Kelong tour complete with seafood brunch, or even a death-defying bungee jump in Sentosa. Don't be a chicken, Suen, let's do it!
Chicken, me? Never. Okay, but you know, if you're not an adrenaline junkie like us, how about booking a staycation at the Great Madras, Hotel Boss or Lai Funan, which costs $100 and under?
A motorcyclist who collided with a Samba deer on Upper Thompson Road is taking the Land Transport Authority and the National Parks Board to court for negligence. Muhammad Alif Muhammad Jeffrey, who suffered head, shoulder and leg injuries, is seeking damages from both statutory boards for the incident on September 21st last year. Both LTA and NParks have countered that Mr. Alif has himself to blame for what happened. The lawsuit comes amid concerns over wild animals encroaching onto public areas, following the reported case of a woman who was attacked by a wild boar in Pasir Ris last month.
Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton has said he is devastated not to be racing this weekend after testing positive for the coronavirus. He is now isolating for 10 days and will miss the Sakhir Grand Prix. Mercedes said that Hamilton had returned 3 negative tests last week but began displaying mild symptoms on Monday.
Tributes have been paid to former national water polo captain and coach Tan Eng Bock, who died after suffering a stroke. He was 84. Captaining the national team to their first Southeast Asian Peninsula Games title in 1965, he started an undefeated run that ended only last year. Tan was also an Asian Games gold medalist and an Olympian, and went on to helm the national team for over 20 years after retiring as a player. Speaker of Parliament and National Olympic Council President Tan Chua Jin said that Tan's dedication is unparalleled and that his legacy will live on in the many lives he has touched.
The story of the boy who lost his battle with cancer before getting his PSLE results has touched many of our viewers.
12-year-old Raphael Lee died on November 13 due to complications from surgery. His parents told the Straits Times his presence lives on in memories and mementos.
Right, this is his treasure box. It's only this morning that I happens to peep into it. This is what he have. We have Lego. Lego is one of his favorite toy, and red is his favorite color. We have a little drawing that's written the word Pop. He loves Daddy. Papa down here. And Mummy, he didn't draw out, but he gave me a picture instead. Toothpick is actually like, he could be telling me that Grandpa is somebody he loved dearly too. To sum up, we have Grandpa here, Grandma, Daddy, Mummy, his favorite toy and his favorite food. This morning when I looked into this treasure box, I actually broke down.
Raphael's wish was to inspire others with his story. However, he is a boy of few words. So I guess he's passing on, and those people who get to know him, which during the wake, there are many attendees who came, and I'm just surprised that most of them who do not even know and heard about him. And all have been saying that he's very strong and very brave. So to me, I find that perhaps the boy has planned that now he's gone, I should be the one to inspire on his behalf.
You can watch the full video of William and Winnie Lee talk about their son's final moments and remember his bravery on the Straits Times YouTube channel.
And that's all from us tonight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos.
Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.